Hey guys, welcome back to Your U.S.A. This is the sixth installment of Knowing Our Constitution. We're going to go through Amendments 21 through 27 today. Let's get to it. Alright guys, let's just jump right into it. Amendment 21, Section 1. The 18th Article of Amendment to the Constitution of the United States is hereby repealed. Section 2. The transportation or importation into any state, territory, or possession of the United States for delivery or use therein of intoxicating liquors in violation of the laws thereof is hereby prohibited. They ended prohibition, but in certain states they still have the option to prohibit it. Section 3. The article shall be inoperative unless it shall have been ratified as an amendment to the Constitution by conventions in several states as provided in the Constitution within 7 years from the date of submission hereof to the states by the Congress. Amendment 22, Section 1. No person shall be elected to the office of the President more than twice, and no person who has held the office of President or acted as President for more than 2 years of a term to which some other person was elected shall be elected to the office of the President more than once. But this article shall not apply to any person holding the office of President when this article was proposed by the Congress, and shall not prevent any person who may be holding the office of President or acting as President during the term within which this article becomes operative from holding the office of President or acting as President during the remainder of such terms. Section 2 is the same thing as the Section 3 of Amendment 21, just stating that if it hasn't been passed within 7 years, then it goes away. Amendment 23, Section 1. The district constituting the seat of government of the United States shall appoint in such manner as Congress may direct a number of electors of President and Vice President equal to the whole number of senators and representatives in Congress to which the district would be entitled if it were a state, but in no event more than the least populous state. They shall be in addition to those appointed by the states, but they shall be considered for the purposes of the election of President and Vice President to be electors appointed by a state, and they shall meet in the district and perform such duties as provided by the 12th Article of Amendment. Section 2. The Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Amendment 24. Section 1. The right of citizens of the United States to vote in any primary or other election for President or Vice President, for electors, for President or Vice President, or for Senator or Representative in Congress shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or any state by reason of failure to pay any poll or other tax. So, any citizen can vote. Section 2. The Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Amendment 25. Section 1. In case of the removal of the President from office or of his death or resignation, the Vice President shall become President. Section 2. Whenever there is a vacancy in the office of the Vice President, the President shall nominate a Vice President who shall take office upon confirmation by a majority vote of both houses of Congress. Section 3. Whenever the President transmits to the President pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives his written declaration that he is unable to discharge the powers and duty of his office, and until he transmits them a written declaration to the contrary, such powers and duties shall be discharged by the Vice President as acting President. Section 4. Whenever the President and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive departments or of such other body as Congress may by law provide, transmit to the President pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives their written declaration that the President is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the Vice President shall immediately assume the powers and duties of the office as acting President. Thereafter, when the President transmits to the President pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives his written declaration that no inability exists, he shall resume the powers and duties of his office until the Vice President and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or of such other body as Congress may by law provide. Transmit within 4 days to the President pro tempore of the Senate and the Speaker of the House their written declaration that the President is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Thereupon Congress shall decide the issue, assembling within 48 hours for that purpose if not in session. If the Congress, within 21 days after receipt of the latter written declaration, or if Congress is not in session, within 21 days after Congress is required to assemble, determines by 2/3 vote of both houses and the President is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the Vice President Vice President shall continue to discharge the same as acting President. Otherwise, the President shall resume the powers and duties of his office. Amendment 26. Section 1. The right of citizens of the United States who are 18 years of age or older to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of age. Section 2. The Congress shall have power to enforce this by appropriate legislation. Article 27. No law varying the compensation for the services of the senators and representatives shall take effect until an election of representatives shall have intervened. There it is. That's the end of the Constitution. I hope you guys have enjoyed this series. I know it's kind of a long one. It's kind of a long introduction to a channel, too. I want you guys to stay tuned. In the coming weeks, we're going to be evaluating politicians based on their constitutionality. I really want to delve deeper into what is wrong with the politicians of our country, because if you pay close attention, a lot of these politicians don't actually embody the values of the majority of American people. They just kind of push these big talking points and these big polarizing, divisive terms just to kind of make it look like America's divided. When you actually talk to the majority of blue-collar people, we're really not as divided as you really want to think. There are obviously radicals, but that's what we want to delve into, and that's what we really want to find out. So I would encourage you guys to subscribe and like this channel. Leave comments down below of different politicians you might want to hear me talk about. I hope to see you guys there. You're going to want to check out this playlist that I have on the screen here, and also the subscribe button. If you haven't already watched the rest of the playlist on Knowing Our Constitution, I strongly encourage that. I also strongly encourage you to get your own pocket copy of the Constitution. I'll leave a link in the description on Amazon to one of those down below. I will also leave a link in the description to just go to an online version, which is obviously free. I just like to have these in my hand at all times. Thank you guys for sticking with me through this series of Knowing Our Constitution. I think it's really important that we know it. We'll see you next time.